Hi everyone, welcome back to part 2 of the Curious World of MrRay, where I like to show you what YouTube likes to hide. Some great shows out there for free, some great movies, some great shorts, and I can't wait to tell you about some of the things that have brought me joy throughout the years and show them to all of you. So before we get into part 2, I really hope you enjoyed the animated section. Like I say, if any of it's not your thing, I've got plenty of things from you to choose from. Obviously, you're under no obligation to watch everything or anything, but there's plenty of choice for you in this episode. I have trailers up before the movies, and I have adverts in between everything from the UK's yesteryear. So I hope you enjoy all that, but before we get to the second part, I would like to share with you a curious thought. Now, my curious thought this week pertains to chivalry. Now, most people think chivalry's dead, but if you would like to know why that might not be as terrible a thing as you think, just keep listening, keep watching, because in this segment, I'm going to tell you a little bit about chivalry and reveal maybe one or two things that may surprise or even shock you. Chivalry, the origin of chivalry, isn't what modern people perceive. When chivalry began, it was literally a code of conduct for the mounted knight. That's where it comes from, the French chivalry for horses and mounted horsemanship. That's where the term comes from. And back then it was a knight's code, but the thing is, it wasn't a universal code. It wasn't a code that was shared by all knights. Pretty much each knight had their own individual code, their own code of chivalry. And what may surprise you more than anything is that not only was there not a unified code, but many of the things that exist from chivalry and examples of chivalry aren't what we would consider to be chivalrous behaviour at all. Quite far from it. To give you the most obvious example that I can think of and that I've discovered through my own research over the years is how one might rob a peasant using chivalry. Are you ready for this? First, you dismount from your horse. You grab your peasant by the scruff and push them against a tree or a wall, whichever's available. I love that. Whichever's available, tree or wall, press them against it. Grab a pinch of skin. Draw your dagger. And draw the dagger across the pinch of skin, then remove your fingers, show them their own blood, and at that point, the peasant will hand over any worldly goods they have. And that's how you rob a peasant with chivalry. Not exactly what people are thinking of when you're holding open a door or putting your coat down into a puddle to save a lady's feet from getting wet. So the next time somebody says to you, chivalry's dead, perhaps you won't think it's such a terrible thing. I hope you enjoyed the curious thought. Now, into part 2 of the Curious World of MrRay for this week, and I have some great shows lined up for you. The first show that I have lined up is an absolute classic. It's called Roar. It's Australian and it's a high Celtic fantasy TV series. It stars Heath Ledger. Now, this is where I discovered Heath Ledger. This is the first thing that I saw him in, and I ranted and raved about him in this show, and nobody had heard of him. And many years later, 10 Things I Hate About You came out, and he started getting notoriety, and I've followed his career with massive interest from the days of Roar. I followed his career with great interest, and when he died, it kind of broke me. You may have noticed last week I included Heath Ledger's final words into that wasn't by accident. I had a tremendous amount of respect for him as an actor. I knew he was destined for greatness, and the fact that one of the greatest performances of all time, with him playing the Joker, was his final performance. That was a shocker for me when he died. So huge fan of Heath Ledger, and for anyone that's not heard of Roar, I'm so happy to get to introduce this show to you. It's such a great show, and Heath Ledger is fantastic, phenomenal in it. Some great characters as well that you won't forget. Just hope you really enjoy Roar. For the next two shows that I've got lined up, these are two Sam Raimi productions. So if you're a fan of Hercules Legendary Journeys or the Xena Warrior Princess, these are shows that you need to check out. The first one is Sinbad. Don't need to tell you who Sinbad is. Classic adventurer from literature and folklore, and just so many movies. And speaking of, more Sinbad later in this episode. But for the series, we've got the Sam Raimi produced series. It's a lot of fun. It's a little, I'd say it's a little cheesier than Hercules, but you know, if you enjoyed that, you'll enjoy this. And finally, the last show for the series segment, I've saved a real humdinger, a real beaut. Jack of all trades, starring none other than the greatest man to grace the silver screen, Bruce Campbell. Honestly, quite frankly, I do consider him one of, if not the greatest B-movie actor. Important distinction there. B-movie actor of all time, Bruce Campbell. But he may be the greatest B-movie actor, but he is certainly an amazing and wonderful human being. So funny, so generous, so kind. Great guy. Love Bruce Campbell. And this is a show that's basically just a platform for him. So if you like Sam Raimi or you like Bruce Campbell, check that out. Now, I've also got one more show in between, and in between Sinbad and Jack of all trades. And I honestly didn't know if it would be on YouTube, but it is. So I put it in there when I did some digging and I could find it. I was like, no way. This is actually probably one of, now, like I say, I put Jack of all trades right at the end because it's a nice fun show. It's a nice fun way to think it. But if you get a chance to get into Legend of the Seeker, which is going to be, I think that's going to be like the third episode in the series segment, please watch Legend of the Seeker. It was one of the best fantasy series out, beside maybe Game of Thrones in that period. You know, it was top-notch high fantasy, and the fact that it only got a couple of seasons was really sad, but I feel like there was more to be told there, but it ended in a great way. It wasn't like a cliffhanger or anything. It tied things up nicely, and it was a great show. Highly recommend Legend of the Seeker. Like, I always put on like just an episode to let you know about it, make you aware of it, and then you can watch it. But all this stuff is available on YouTube. Please look it out. If you ever reach a dead end in YouTube for whatever reason, if they've removed videos or things, streaming services are easy to find these days. But I really want to make you aware of these shows, and if you can check them out, they're worth anyone's time. So that's four shows coming up in the next segment. It's going to be Roar first, then Sinbad, Legend of the Seeker, and finishing off with Jack of all trades. Really hope you enjoy this segment. One last thing before I go. Wee poem that my gran taught me, and it seems relevant. In days of old, when knights were bold, and paper wasnae invented, knights wiped their bums along the gruns, and walked away contented. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that wee limerick there. I'll catch you after you've had a chance to check out these series, see if there's any of them that grab your interest. And I'll catch you in the third and final part. And after that, I'll be playing the show out with a ukulele song as ever. So I hope I see you in part 3, the final part, where I've got an amazing final section for you. The movies that I've got coming up next. I can't wait to talk about them, but I'll see you in the next section for that. Hope you enjoy the shows, everyone. See you soon.